Hi chess lovers! Today we want to talk about playing chess with the opening the King's Gambit accepted with Cotter Gambit. This match played by Mr. Paul Morphy against Mr. Eugene Rousseau in 1849. And Mr. Morphy start playing with e4. And Mr. Eugene continued to e5. And me, of course, would be like playing the Italian game with knight to f3. But today, Mr. Morphy not playing the Italian game. So now, he playing the King's Gambit opening with move to f4. I think the reason why pawn sacrifice in f4, it's maybe to make pawn in e4 in next further will be moved to e5 and will be dominate the f6 square because it's so powerful pawn if he move to e5 and dominate the f6 square. And also pawn in d2 can easy move to d5 to dominate the c6 square. It's important to dominate the f6 square and the c6 square. And we continue pawn take pawn in f4. So he accept the King's Gambit in this position. And then pawn in e4 will be easy move to e5 in next further and will be dominate the f6 square. And now knight move to f3. And of course the reason knight move to f3 to avoid the queen attack to h4. If we playing the King's Gambit, of course the weak square is h4 and c5 square. So we have to be careful with h4 square and c5 square. And continue move to g5 to defending the pawn in f4. From bishop in c1, in the next feature we'll take pawn in f4. And we continue to h4 to break that defending. So pawn in f4 have no a strong position anymore. And continue move to g4, threatening the knight. So black piece here not defending the pawn in f4 square anymore. He just want to exchange two pawn with knight in f3. And of course knight will not move to h2 because will be a weak move to move to h2. And pawn will be moved to g3, threatening the knight again. So the best move here is knight to g5. Because if we move knight to e5, then our pawn in e4 will be close to move to e5. It's important to us to back up the pawn in e4 can easy move to e5 in the next further. So he can dominate the f6 square. And after this, the most player here will move to d5, threatening pawn in e4. And also we can defending pawn in g4 from bishop in c8. So we have a strong position in here. But actually Mr. Eugene not move pawn to d5, but he moved pawn to h6, threatening the knight. And knight here already stuck in this position cannot move back to f3 or maybe to h3. So now Mr. Paul Morphy move knight take pawn in f7. He sacrificed his knight in this position. This sacrifice also known as the Cotter Gambit. And of course, king will take the knight in f7. And the Cotter Gambit accept here. The benefit we sacrifice knight in f7 is king will be cannot short castle to the right or maybe long castle to the left. So we can focus to attack in the center of the board. Sometimes we have to sacrifice our piece so king cannot short castle or maybe long castle to the left anymore. And we continue queen take pawn in g4. Actually, we can defending this pawn in g4 if in early move we already move pawn to d5. So bishop can defending this pawn in g4. But now we cannot defending that pawn. Actually, this is important pawn in g4. And the best move here actually we can move knight to f6. So we can double attack to queen in g4 and pawn in e4. And also we can avoid the attack from h5 square if queen go to f5. Because as we know that we cannot save pawn in f4. And we have to let it go with peace. But Mr. Agent not move knight to f3. He still focused to save pawn in f4. So he moved queen to f6 to hope he can save pawn in f4. And another attack coming from bishop to c4. Check. And we cannot close the attack with pawn to d4. Bishop in c8 will free taking by queen and bishop will take pawn in d4. Check again. So this is a weak move for blackfish. And he will not move pawn to d4. But actually he moved king to e7. And now another attack coming from behind. Knight move to c3. So in the next move, knight will be moved to d5. Double attack to king and queen in f6. So he avoid the attack with moving to c6. So knight will be no longer can move to d5. And now a strong pawn coming from e4 move to e5, threatening the queen. We see this pawn is so powerful move if he move to e5 and dominate the f6 square. And we have to always remember and make our pawn move to e5 so we can dominate the f6 square. And we will have a strong position. But the problem now, no one defending this pawn in e5. So queen take that pawn in e5, check. And of course it's more very powerful if we can defending this pawn in e5. And now king move to d1. And also to prepare, rook will move to e1 and double attack for queen and king. So before it happened, he moved king to d8 to avoid the rook attack. And of course, rook continue move to e1, threatening the queen. And no one can block that rook move to e1. And now queen move to c5 to hope he can take bishop in c4. And Mr. Morphy take a free knight in g8 with free. Bishop take knight in g8. And rook will not take that bishop in g8. Queen in g4 will take that rook if he take bishop in g8. So he threatening that queen first with moving pawn to d5 to hope queen will be moving and he can take bishop in g8. I think it's too late moving pawn to d5. It should already moving in the beginning of the game. And now rook move to e8, check. And bishop cannot take queen in g4. So king have to be take rook in e8. And now queen take bishop in c8, check. A nice exchange actually in this move. And also white with win strong position with check for king in e8. And king cannot move to f7. The only way king can move only to e7. And now knight take pawn in d5, check. All piece looks like a lot of free. Like rook can freely take bishop in g8. But actually pawn cannot take knight in d5. If pawn take knight in d5, then queen will free to take queen in c5 and check again for the king. But he didn't take that knight and he moved king to d6. And queen moved to c7. Checkmate in 17 move. King cannot move to any square anymore. King cannot move to e6 or move to e5. So Mr. Paul Morphy win this game in 17 moves. A nice match showing in this game, and thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe and like this channel, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.